Melbourne Tram history. 1910 to 1920. Trust me, I'm a tramway. Having finally left the 1890s depression behind, in the 1910s Melbourne's population will surge again, and urban development will sprawl well beyond the cable tram network. Eager to promote growth, municipal councils will establish tramways trusts to build and operate systems in their localities. By now the standard for street railways, electric tramways will spread rapidly in the new suburbs, supplementing the cable tram lines. The 30th of May, 1910. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric High Street line, from Charles Street, along High Street, and terminating at Tooronga Road. The 30th of May, 1910. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Glenferrie and Wattletree road lines, branching from the High Street line on High Street, running along Glenferrie and Wattletree roads, and terminating at Burke Road. The 14th of May, 1911. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the High Street line, from Charles Street, along High Street, to Punt Road. August 1911. Coburg Council purchases the struggling Northern Tramway Company, and takes over operation of the Coburg Horse Tramway. The 16th of December, 1911. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Dandenong Road line, branching from the Wattletree Road line at Glenferrie Road, running along Glenferrie and Dandenong Roads, and terminating on the eastern side of Windsor Railway Bridge. The 31st of March, 1912. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Dandenong Road line, from the eastern side of Windsor Railway Bridge, along Dandenong Road, to Chapel Street. The 9th of April, 1912. The Beaumaris Tramway Company closes the Ricketts Point to Cheltenham Station section of the Beaumaris Horse Tramway. The 14th of September, 1912. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the High Street line, from Punt Road, along High Street, to St Kilda Road. The 12th of April, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Hawthorn and Balaclava road lines, branching from the Dandenong Road line on Dandenong Road, running along Hawthorn and Balaclava roads, and Carlisle Street, and terminating at Acland Street. The 30th of May, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Glenferrie Road line along Glenferrie Road, to Cotham Road. Hawthorn and Kew councils had joined the PMTT earlier in 1913 to facilitate the extension into their districts. The 30th of May, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the Kew line, from High Street, along Cotham Road, and terminating at Burke Road. The 27th of August, 1913. The North Melbourne Electric Tramway and Lighting Company extends the Flemington Bridge Station terminus of its Essendon and Maribyrnong lines to connect to the terminus of the North Melbourne Cable Tram. The 13th of November, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the East Malvern line as an extension of the Balaclava Road line, from Hawthorn Road, along Balaclava and Normanby Roads, Caulfield Boulevard, what will become Sir John Monash Drive, and Waverley Road, and terminating at Darling Road. The 13th of November, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Hawthorn Road line from Balaclava Road, along Hawthorn Road, to Glen Huntly Road. The 13th of November, 1913. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Glen Huntly Road line, from Elstonwick Station, along Glen Huntly Road, and terminating at Grange Road. The 17th of February, 1914. The Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust takes over operation of the Coburg Horse Tramway. Established to build and operate an electric tram network in the north, the trust is reconstituted the following month as the Melbourne, Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust, so lines can extend into the city. The 28th of March, 1914. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the High Street line from Tooronga Road along High Street to Malvern Road. The 30th of June, 1914. The Beaumaris Horse Tramway closes between Sandringham Station and Reserve Road. The 1st of November, 1914. The Kew Horse Tramway closes pending electrification. Kew Council bought the tramway from the Melbourne Tramway and Omnibus Company earlier in 1914 and transferred it to the Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust. The 24th of February, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Kew line from its terminus in Cotham Road along High Street and Barkers Road to the eastern side of Victoria Bridge. City-bound passengers must walk across the bridge to change to the Victoria Street cable tram. The 8th of April, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the Malvern Road line from St Kilda Road along Commercial and Malvern Roads and terminating at Burke Road. The 8th of May, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the East Kew line, branching from the Kew line at Cotham Road, running along High Street and terminating at Parkhill Road. The 4th of June, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Glen Huntly Road line from Elstonwick Station along Glen Huntly Road to Point Ormond. The 4th of July, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the Kew line across Victoria Bridge to the terminus of the Victoria Street cable tram. The 26th of November, 1915. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust extends the East Kew line from Parkhill Road along High Street to Harp Road. The 5th of December, 1915. The Melbourne Coburg and Brunswick Tramways Trust closes the Coburg Horse Tramway, pending electrification. The 18th of January, 1916. Having already been extended by 12 months, the Melbourne Tramway and Omnibus Company franchise to operate the cable tram network finally expires. The Victorian Government forms an interim tramways board to maintain and operate the network for the duration of World War I. The 31st of January, 1916. The Hawthorn Horse Tramway closes pending electrification. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust was formed in 1914 to build and operate electric tramways in Hawthorn and surrounding municipalities, and bought out the lease for the horse tramway from the Melbourne Tramway and Omnibus Company. The 6th of April, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust opens the electric Swan Street line from the new Hawthorn Tram Depot along Wallen Road, Swan Street, and the original alignment of Batman Avenue, and terminating at Swanston Street. Closed for passenger operations on the 13th of February, 1965, Hawthorn Tram Depot will be used for training purposes until the 1990s, and on the 19th of January, 2003 the depot will begin a new life as the Melbourne Tram Museum. The 27th of April, 1916. The Melbourne Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust opens the electric Sydney Road line from Coburg Depot along Cameron Street, Moreland and Sydney Roads and terminating at Bell Street. The tracks along Moreland Road and Cameron Street are initially only used to access Coburg Depot. The 7th of May, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust extends the Swan Street line from Hawthorn Depot along Wallen and Riversdale Roads to Auburn Road. The 14th of May, 1916. The Melbourne Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust extends the Sydney Road line along Sydney Road to Bakers Road. The 31st of May, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust extends the Swan Street line and opens the Burwood line from Auburn Road, running along Riversdale and Camberwell Roads and terminating at Bowen Street. The 10th of June, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust extends the Burwood line along Camberwell and Toorak Roads to Boundary Road, later renamed Warrigal Road. The 21st of June, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust opens the Hawthorn line from the terminus of the Richmond Cable Tram along Hawthorn Bridge and Burwood Roads, and Power Street, joining the Swan Street line at Riversdale Road. The 14th of August, 1916. The Melbourne, Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust opens the electric Lygon Street line, branching from the Sydney Road line on Sydney Road, running along Moreland Road, Holmes and Lygon Streets, and terminating at Park Street. The 30th of September, 1916. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Mont Albert line, from Burke Road, along Whitehorse Road, and terminating at Union Road. The 25th of October, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust opens the electric Riversdale Road line, from Camberwell Junction, along Riversdale Road, and terminating at Wattle Valley Road. The 31st of October, 1916. The Melbourne Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust extends the Lygon Street line, along Lygon, Elgin and Swanston Streets, to the terminus of the Swanston Street Cable Tram at Queensbury Street. The 31st of October, 1916. The Melbourne Brunswick and Coburg Tramways Trust opens the electric East Coburg line, branching from the Lygon Street line at Moreland Road, running along Nicholson Street, and terminating at Bell Street. The 9th of November, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust extends the Riversdale Road line along Riversdale Road to Highfield Road. The 23rd of December, 1916. The Hawthorn Tramways Trust extends the Riversdale Road line along Riversdale Road to Boundary Road, later renamed Warrigal Road. The 6th of December, 1917. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the electric Burke Road line, from the terminus of the Malvern Road line, running along Burke Road, and terminating just south of Camberwell Station. The 7th of March, 1918. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust opens the northern section of the Burke Road line, from just north of Camberwell Station, along Burke Road, and terminating at Cotham Road. The Burke Road level crossing at Camberwell Station is being grade separated, and services on this section of the line will operate as a shuttle until the tram tracks can be connected across the completed road bridge. The 15th of September, 1918. The Paran and Malvern Tramways Trust completes the Burke Road line, connecting the tracks across the new Burke Road Bridge. The 10th of March, 1919. Victorian Railways opens the electric Sandringham to Blackrock line, from Sandringham Station, along Station Street, Bay and Fernhill Roads, Royal Avenue and Bluff Road, and terminating at Belcombe Road. To avoid the interoperability issues Victorian Railways experienced with the St Kilda to Brighton Electric Street Railway, the new line is built to standard gauge, consistent with Melbourne's other tramways. The 1st of November, 1919. The permanent Melbourne and Metropolitan Tramways Board is inaugurated and immediately takes over the cable tram network. The MMTB will be responsible for all Melbourne Street railways within 10 miles of the GPO except those operated by Victorian Railways. The de facto standard for Melbourne trams, chocolate and cream livery will initially be retained. From the 30th of August, 1920 however, the board will adopt the iconic green and cream livery that will endure for over 5 decades. The 2nd of February, 1920. The Melbourne and Metropolitan Tramways Board takes over the operations of all the municipal tramways trusts, including the under-construction networks of the Footscray Tramways Trust and the Fitzroy Northcote and Preston Tramways Trust. Services operated by the North Melbourne Electric Tramway and Lighting Company and Victorian Railways remain independent of the MMTB. Coming next, Melbourne Tram History, 1920 to 1929. All over the board.